Hey everybody, I'm here with Shannon from the Black Dahlia murder. How's it going, man?
It's pretty good. It's cold, but all right.
So I was wondering how the tour's going so far. I imagine it's a little bit different. I heard your guitarist John dropped out halfway through the tour, and so I guess as difficult as that is, being a five-piece and having a very complex music style, what were the obstacles, I guess, to be able to play live again?
Well, actually, John, he left the fold 3 days before the tour started.
Really?
So we came out here knowing it was going to be a four-piece deal. We were like, hey, we got to go. We can't cancel this. We have to go. I mean, it's really not. It's not hard. I mean, I think anybody in a band that does it for a living should be able to, play the songs by themselves, without having everyone else there. So I think that if you're comfortable with doing that, then you'll be fine live.
I guess when fans listen to the songs live, they have certain expectations of how they sound off the album, and so I'm wondering how I guess you translated those guitar parts so that it would fill up and I guess not sound empty.
Well, I mean, we posted some stuff online talking about him leaving the band and that we were going to come out as a four-piece. So I think a lot of kids were prepared, like, okay, the guy that does the solos isn't going to be there, so no solos. That's an obvious one. But I think they're okay with it. They're cool with just coming out and having a good time anyways. I mean, it's not like we're coming out without a vocalist or without a drummer, it's you can work with it. I mean, there's no harmonies, no guitar harmonies, no solos. But all the essential stuff is still there, and it still sounds tight and it still sounds heavy, so
That's great.
I think so far nobody's been bummed. All the kids have been really cool and supportive, and that's exactly what we needed, in this kind of, in this time, we needed some love and support, and kids showed it, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Now there's an organization in Canada called Factor, and what the government does, they give about, I think, $17 million to Factor a year to give out to musicians, artists, that sort of thing, for various things. And I understand that in the U.S., you guys really don't have, I guess, that government support, those grants and funding. And I guess when a band is starting out, it's really difficult. And so do you think, in your opinion, that it'd be good to have government funding for a band in the sense that you'd be able, when you're starting out, to get like a $5,000 grant to get all your equipment, be able to head off on a tour? Or do you think maybe it's good to be able to have that struggle so that you can, I guess, the persistent get to the top before they get the support of a record label? What are your feelings on that?
Well, I personally think that the struggle is what builds character. I think it's what proves a band from another band. There's a lot of bands that are out now that, are fairly popular that got there because, their families or, whoever have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, hey, convenient for them, but there's a lot of bands out there who started with nothing and had to, do tons of touring that sucked and make no money and, sell things to pay your rent and, live on your friend's couch. And that sucks, but at the same time, it really defines who you are, and it changes who you are. Like, would you finally get to a level where you're making ends meet and stuff, you really appreciate it because you know what it was like. Like, I didn't have, a government or some, corporation of some sort or any sort of operation giving me money, like my folks were my only support, when I was younger. And then, eventually it went on to where, I struggled and did shitty tours and lived on my friend's couch, and I had nothing but like my laptop and a suitcase full of clothes. I just think that's important. I think it'll really test bands, and you'll know which bands are going to stick it out and really do it, because not everybody is cut out for touring, no matter how much they love playing music. There's a lot of bands out there that get to the point where they get signed by a label, they tour a couple times, and then they break up because it's just not something they can't do. And I think going through the struggle will weed out those bands. And then the bands that make it are the bands that are, will persevere.